So in this video, I'm going to share with you what it is that mature men find irresistible in a woman. There are 5 things. And you're probably asking yourself, dude, why are you doing this? Well, it's because I have graduated to the back 9 of life. The day I am releasing this video, I am now 40 years old. I'm grayer, I'm more mature, and I'm here to give you the perspective of what I've learned over the past 20 years. Now, if you're new to love strategies, let me catch you up. My name is Adam LaDolce, and since I was 24 years old, I have dedicated my life to studying and teaching the science of attraction, flirting, and attracting love. So in my early 20s, I started my career actually lecturing at universities on love and relationships. I did some reality TV as a host, matchmaker, dating coach. That wasn't my thing, trust me. But I also began my executive love coaching career coaching men on how to meet women just like you. And then about 13 years later, I took all of that knowledge, all of that experience of coaching some of the most powerful men on the planet. I took that knowledge and I started working with women. And since then, we've helped thousands of women attract love. And I've started, of course, love strategies and everything with the YouTube channel, as well as the company. And we've helped literally thousands of women who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s attract the love that they truly deserve using this knowledge. And yes, throughout this period, I did meet my wife, Jessica. We've been together for the past 10 years. And I woke up this morning as I thought about my birthday. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to answer this one question. And that is, if I were looking for love right now, which I'm not, I'm happily married. But if I were, what is it that I would look for in a woman? And how would that be different than the guy who is in his 20s looking for love? Because there really is a difference between a guy in his 20s looking for love versus a guy in his 40s and beyond, and what it is that they are looking for in a partner. And at the end of this video, I'll go ahead and share the one thing that all men desire in a woman, regardless of their age. But the big theme of this video, the biggest shift between a guy in his 20s versus a guy in his 40s and beyond, the biggest shift in what they're looking for in a woman is substance over surface. So what exactly does that mean? Let's dig into it with these 5 things. The first thing that mature guys find irresistible in a woman is emotional attraction. You see, back in my 20s, I was very focused on the physical. And most people are, both men and women. When I was in my 20s, I was like, if she's attractive, I was in. Full stop. But once I got into my 30s and then certainly into my 40s and certainly beyond, the focus would, if I were single, be focused on 100% emotional attraction. I mean, look, beauty, of course, can draw us in, but what pulls a man in on a deep level is emotional depth. A woman who lets you really feel her emotionally, not just look at her. And the biggest sign that a man is emotionally attracted to is that he wants to make you feel safe, not just desired. See, it's not just about like seduction. Like guys, immature little boys in their 20s, they're all about seduction. When you get into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, it's about protection of your time, your energy, and your emotions. The second thing that mature men find irresistible in a woman is emotional regulation. And what do I mean by that? Well, back in my 20s, I was actually all about emotional volatility. You see, I mistook emotional chaos for chemistry. Like you probably know the feeling. Like the highs, they're so electric. When someone is like kind of unpredictable and the lows were so devastating, and I would literally wait for that unpredictable text. I wasn't sure if she was into me and I like craved that. I never knew which version of a woman I was going to get. And somehow that felt like passion. But we got to call it for what it is, and that is emotional volatility. That's not intimacy. That's not connection. That's volatility. And I was addicted to the drama. And now that I'm in my 40s, if I were single, I would be all about emotional regulation through honest and open communication. I mean, give me the woman any day who knows how to name her feelings instead of unleashing them. A woman who can say like, hey, something feels like a little bit off. Can we maybe talk about it? That is sexy as hell, because honest communication when something's a little bit wrong or a little bit off, without the stonewalling or the blaming or the exploding, it's actually quite rare for both men and women. And ultimately, someone who can regulate their emotions and show up in a mature way, it's a sign of someone who's not there to play games. They're there to build something real. The third one is inner confidence. You see, back in my 20s, I was very easily tricked by someone who had a lot of external confidence. Like I was fooled by those kind of like loud laughs, the power heels, the bravado, a woman who could just kind of walk into the room and be able to take it over. I was very much so captivated by all that. But cut scene to now, if I were single now, I would be totally focused on someone who had inner confidence. I mean, Give me a woman who doesn't need the room to validate her because she's already so grounded in who she already is. That is sexy. The fourth thing that a mature guy would really look for in a woman is a woman who radiates that feminine energy. You see, back in my 20s, I was very focused on finding a woman who's, I don't know if submissive is the right word, but someone who would really just follow my lead without question. Because I was insecure in my early 20s. I mean, most guys are, honestly. And for whatever reason, when you're with a woman who just does everything you say and is a little bit submissive, makes you feel like a real man. Because inside, I knew I wasn't really a real man yet. Cut scene to the 30s and 40s and beyond. These guys, they're looking for a woman who can just radiate feminine energy, a woman who can kind of dance in this type of energy, who's playful and who's in sync with a guy's masculine energy. But at the end of the day, feminine energy, it is not weak energy. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're submissive. It means you're actually powerful in a different way. I always say this to my clients, that feminine energy is the most powerful energy throughout the dating process because you are the chooser, not the chaser. And the fifth and final shift that I think is probably the biggest of them all is affection. Mature men crave affection from a high value woman. Whereas we look back in my 20s, and I think of like little boys out there, and there are certainly little boys who are in their 40s, 50s, and beyond, don't get me wrong, but they tend to go for attention rather than affection. Attention is all about ego boosts. It's all about approval. It's all about validation. And I gotta say, like, I look back at myself in my 20s, I was looking for attention. I was looking for compliments. I was looking for flirty texts. I was chasing that validation all the time. And again, that's not unusual for younger people to look for. But as men mature, as they get older, they want that affection. They want a woman who recognizes their efforts, recognizes their needs. And of course, a mature man will do the same in return with that right type of affection. At the end of the day, attention feeds the ego, whereas affection feeds the soul. Now, with all that said, there is one thing that all men desire, regardless of their age. They want this in a woman, and that is a woman who knows what she wants. A woman who doesn't wait to be chosen. A woman who selects the right type of guy for her. And let's be honest, if you struggled in your love life, especially later in life, it's really easy to lose clarity in what it is you want. I mean, you've been through it all. You've been through the heartbreak. You've been through the divorce. You may have been through loss. And all of that life experience, it can actually leave you more confused than ever. So this is a direct message to every woman dating in her 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. It's time to reclaim total clarity in your love life. Because the reality is, your age isn't the problem. Notice how all of the 5 things I went over, those are all things that you can embody in your love life. I didn't talk about looks. I didn't talk about things that aren't within your control. You can embody all of those qualities. The real problem is thinking that your age is the problem that's holding you back. It's not your age. Mature guys want a woman who's an equal, who's an emotional equal, and women who tend to be a little bit mature in age tend to also be a little bit more or a lot more emotionally mature. So please realize this one thing. If you get anything from this video, you're not too late for love. You're more ready than ever. You're wiser. You're grounded. You don't waste time, and you've got to know your worth. And now is the time to get really clear on what it is that you want and what it is that you will not tolerate. Now is the moment to attract the relationship that really matches the woman that you become. And as my gift to you, along with this video, I created a free training, and you can check that out at Lonely to Love. And that's going to walk you through this entire process step by step. Let's get you that clarity that you need to attract the true love, because now is your time. If you're ready for love, again, head on over to lonelytolove.com and leave a comment that says, yes, I'm ready for love. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure serving you, and I can't wait to serve you for another 20 years and beyond.